Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Like, this is kind of wild. It has been so long since I have done video. It actually feels really wild to be looking at myself on camera right now, even though I had to do it for so long. Like, I really had to psych myself into, okay, you can do this. You used to do this for years, but it's so fitting with what I really want to talk about today, because when you think about like reset, refocus, and restarting stuff, it's kind of like, you know, I didn't do video for over a year. I had moved, and, you know, where I was living when I was staying with people, and then when I had this roommate situation going on, it's just, it wasn't an environment that really was set up to where I wanted to have video. And then now that I've moved, I'm in the office. Like, y'all, I got an office. Yes, like, it is so amazing to actually have an office and to be on video. And even though it's never like, oh, y'all saw my bed or any of that stuff, and I never really cared about that because my bed was always made. So it's not like my room was a mess. But it's like any and everybody could see this video, and I did not want everybody and their mama just seeing my bedroom, because you don't know who watches what on YouTube. And so to have an office, right, and to also have a webcam again, because shout out to Chris. Yeah, shout out to her, shout out to Audrey, Autumn, Jay, you know what I mean? But we had did a video call recently. Yes, we don't do podcast happy hour, but we do still communicate. We did a video call, and on there, I just happened to mention, like, you know, now that I've moved, I really want to get back into video. And I was like, I got to get a new webcam, though. I still don't understand how mine broke, but it is what it is. We back, baby. We back. Shout out to her. She had an extra one. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is so wild to be recording video. But yeah, you know, a lot of what I want to talk about today, it's just so fitting that I'm restarting recording video for the show. And one of the things I really want to talk about is how sometimes when we have a goal or something that we're working towards, anything can be the reason that we get off track. So I think about my Snatch 40s journey, but listen, y'all, shout out, because your girl is down 7 pounds. Okay, we're going to go with that. That's not the sound that I wanted, but we're going to go with that anyway. So yeah, with that, it's kind of like, I've been on this journey for a while, and there's been so many ups and downs, and there's been so many things that have caused me to get off track, right? And one of the more recent things was in July when my dad passed away. So, you know, I go to CrossFit gym and have been there for a while, and then he died. And, you know, grief is going to have you go through all kinds of emotions. And there were so many complex emotions to go through, given the nature of our relationship, or should I say the lack thereof, you know what I mean? And so with that, I got off track. And the thing about this notion of resetting, refocusing, and restarting is, like I said, there are going to be things that are going to get you off track, but it's what you do when you get off track that will either help you or hinder you from achieving whatever it is your goal is. And the thing you should not do when you get off track, don't beat yourself up about it. There can be so many different things that can cause you to lose momentum or, you know, break the rhythms that you need to be healthy or to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? There can be so many factors. It could just be you get distracted, right? But once you realize that you're off track, you got to go back to, why did I want to start this goal, right? Like, whatever it is. I know another area, let's get out of the Snatch 40s journey, is I know that I am my best self for me and for everybody in my world if I have some time when I wake up where I don't have to talk to nobody. I'm not a person that really needs to jump into my day. I've more recently discovered that my best days are the days when I can wake up, get out of bed, make my bed. So I'm not still laying in bed, but just get up and not have to see nobody, not have to talk to nobody. And just literally, I have this recliner in my room and just sit in that recliner and literally just sit there. Part of it is me fully waking up, right? But it's also, I am an introvert who works a very extroverted job. And so in order for me to be my best self to present to my coworkers, the people that we serve or whatever, I need to make sure that I am fully charged. And so if I jump out of bed and hop on a meeting even, I'm not fully charged. And so I've just noticed things like that. And so in order to make that happen, I need to go to bed early. And I was there, you know what I mean? I don't know what got me off track with it. Next thing you know, I'm staying up later and then not really wanting to get up in the morning and just feeling really just drained, right? And so when that happens, I could beat myself up like, oh man, da 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 da. Or I can just make it be, hey, tonight is a new night. I'm going to go to bed earlier. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to get up earlier. And that's really how you have to be, you know what I mean? Because like I said, and I've said it multiple times, because there literally are so many different factors. If I'm honest, I don't even know what got me off track with my sleep schedule. I do know that when my dad died, that did get me off track with working out. I do know that when I was staying with the family that I was living with, and then even when I was in the roommate situation for a few months, because there were 3 other women in that house and us all sharing one refrigerator, it made it a little bit difficult with trying to like meal plan and meal prep and all that, and just having the space to do what I wanted to do. And so while I don't eat terribly, there were things that I wanted to do that there literally just wasn't space for me to make that happen. But I knew that once I decided that I was going to move into this place where I actually have the whole refrigerator to myself, which is kind of dope because we have 2. So I use one and Kayliana uses the other. And it's wild because we moved in February 1st, and that was when I weighed myself. And then I noticed that, the first month, or I don't know if it was a whole month, but I was down like 3 pounds. I was like, okay, cool. And then I weighed myself again earlier this week, or maybe it was last week. I don't remember. And then I saw that I was down a total of 7 pounds. And that's literally just because I have more space to do what I need to do with meal planning and meal prep. And that allows me to have like better control over what I'm eating. Now, what I could have done when I won't even say I got off track, but we'll just go there. What I could have done when I got off track is once we got into a situation where I could do what I need to do, I could have maintained those habits and I wouldn't have had the progress that I'm having. You know what I mean? When I got off track with my workouts, where I literally would go to the gym once a week, and that's because of my job. We have a staff workout at the same gym that I have a membership at. So I was still doing CrossFit once a week, but it could have been that I just stayed just there. You know what I mean? But once I realized like, man, I'm off track. I feel better when I work out. I sleep better when I work out. My overall mood is just better when I work out. I have more energy as well. So once I realized like, hey, I'm off track, I could have beat myself up and been like, oh, girl, you've been on this journey for like 10 years back and forth, blah, blah, blah. But instead, what I did was, you know what? I'm going to just take it one day at a time. And I have this goal where I want to at least get 3 workouts in a week, but really 4. 3 is easy because what's also cool is that my boss even structured our work schedule to where our Monday and Tuesday work day, working out, because we all go to the same gym for the most part, is factored into our work schedule. So we'll have a meeting. Well, actually, we shifted it to where we're going to work out, then have our first meeting of the day. And then on Wednesdays, that's staff workout where everybody works out together as a staff. So that's 3 workouts already right there. So the goal now is actually to get in a 4th workout. So that's either going to be Friday or Saturday. And so with that, it's kind of like there was a week recently where I only got 2 workouts in. I could have beat myself up about that and stayed there, but hey, it's a new week. It's a new opportunity to achieve that goal. And this week I made the 4 workouts. Y'all, shout out. The studio audience has been with me everywhere that I've been. It's so funny. But yeah, so it's kind of like with that, you are going to get off track. But when you get off track, one, recognize that you're off track, right? Pay attention to what you can change to get yourself back on track. Because there may be things that are kind of like out of your control. Like, again, when I was in the different living situation where there wasn't space for me to buy the food that I needed or whatever, I did the best that I could with what I could control. But I also, it just was what it was, right? But then once I get into a situation of, okay, I can control what I can control, then it's like, make the changes that you need to make, right? Then on top of that, don't beat yourself up because you got off track, because it could be distraction, it could be busyness at work, it could be a death in the family, it could be literally just lack of motivation, lack of surrounding yourself with people that are encouraging you to work towards whatever it is that your goal is. So it could be so many factors, but once you're trying to get back on track, you kind of got to let that go. You kind of got to let your, I guess we'll say, failures go, and you just have to keep pushing forward. Refocus on, okay, why do I want to work towards this? What am I trying to achieve? How can I get there? Because something may have changed where you have to do something differently, right? So that's where it's like the refocus piece. So resetting is, okay, I wasn't on top of this goal. Now I got to get back to it. Refocus is, okay, what do I need to change? What do I need to get back to? Whatever it is that you need to do, right? And then restart, and do that as many times as you need. I'm telling y'all, I have been on this. It's now snatched 40s journey, but it didn't start in my 40s. And I think about the times when I had success, like as I look through old pictures and I see where I was even smaller than I am now, even though like that was still larger than what I was trying to get back to. But I look at sometimes those pictures and I'm like, man, how did I get off track? Like sometimes Facebook memories, it be having you messed up a little bit, like sometimes the stuff that pops up. But with that, it's kind of like when I see like, dang, I really did get off track, even though I had this success there, it's kind of like, all right, well, I just got to restart. You know what I mean? Oh man, my dad died and I allowed myself to get off track with workouts outside of what was required for work, right? Okay, I guess I got to restart again. You know what I mean? And it's been just really, really kind of what I've been on. There's been a lot of things within this last week that I've restarted back up. It's so funny that this is the episode that I'm restarting video for this show, because I literally was sitting here like, I don't even know. Like I even said, I don't even know how I start my show when I had video. Like just all this, like looking at myself, even though I look at myself all the time on Zoom meetings. So like, I don't even know, but it's kind of like, there's just something about restarting something that you really have to get over so many mental hurdles and stuff like that to try to restart. But hey, we back. And you know what I mean? And so there's so many areas of my life that I'm on that with. And so you got to just do that as many times as you can. Or I should say, you got to do that as many times as you need to and don't allow anything to hinder you from restarting once you get back on track. So that's what I have for y'all this week. It's wild, but it actually feels good to be back to recording video. As always, make sure you take care of yourself mentally, like make sure you take care of yourself emotionally, spiritually, physically, and be healthy in your relationships. And I say that every week, right? And I've said that since the start of the show. And if you think about it, if you want to be healthy in your relationships, you have to be healthy. So if you're not mentally healthy, you're not going to be able to, you can't really be good to yourself, but you also can't be good to other people. And that's an area that within this last week or so, well, I'd say the last few weeks, I noticed that I was very, very tired. I noticed that like I didn't want to put my laundry away when I did it. And so it just sat on the other side of my bed. I guess thank God I have a king size bed. But at the same time, that for me, because I went like 2 weeks of doing laundry and just piling it up on the other side of my bed instead of putting it away. And I'm very much I put my laundry away when I do it because I just don't function well in like clutter and chaos and stuff like that. And so once I went to the second week and it was making things worse, but I'm like, why? Like, what is going on with me? I realized that, I was feeling depressed. Like so many people have died within the past less than a year. And there was just a lot going on. And so I had to, deal with that. Be emotionally healthy, be spiritually healthy. Like we all have a spirit, we all have a soul, and they need to be healthy. Me personally, my relationship with God is how I maintain my spiritual healthiness. And even within that, there are rhythms that I need to make sure I stay on top of, or there are times when I am like, okay, well, what do I need to add or what's missing? Because for whatever reason, something needs to change within this same old that I'm doing because it's just not cutting it. So, pay attention to whatever that is. And then so when I'm taking care of all of that, I feel like being physically healthy, that's such a factor too. It's, getting in the workouts. Like yesterday was a wild day and I did not want to go work out. I ended up doing an afternoon workout instead of a morning workout. Also, part of the workout was burpees, right? However, I was so glad that I went because I set a goal of how many burpees that I felt like I wanted to accomplish within the time frame. And I actually beat that goal, you know what I mean? But also so much of I was feeling a little anxious for whatever reason. All that was burnt away, right? Then it's also the getting good sleep, right? It's also what I eat. Like when I eat crappy foods, and I've said this for as long as I've been on this show, part of the reason why, and I'm not going to say, oh, I eat perfectly. And I'm not going to say, oh, I don't eat junk food, because I do from time to time. But what I do notice is it either upsets my stomach or makes me feel really lethargic. And I don't like that. And I also don't have time for that with how busy life is sometimes. So with that, those are super important. And when I'm taking care of all those things, it's so easy to think about being healthy in my relationships. But when I'm not on top of that stuff, it's not. So that's why I always highlight all of those separately and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in. It feels so good to be back with video. For those of y'all that are tuning in, what's up? I'm back, you feel me? But I love y'all so much, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...